God being one's own nature, when one gains a clarity that I am none other than Brahman, then seeking ends. Seeking ends when one gains fullness. That's it. It's a common sense. Seeking ends when one gains fullness. If one is not full, one has certain limitations, seeking continues. So even if you are seeking a God, there are two things. One is seeking a God because God is different from me. Then also seeking will be there. Or else you know for sure that, well, the Atma alone is the Brahman. But you are not clear about it. Because of the identification with the body, etc. You take yourself to an individual. Then definitely that still seeking of God continues. Even though you know that it is in the form of Atma, still seeking continues. That seeking will be in the form of knowledge. Because ignorance is there. That's how you take yourself to be an individual. And then, so far as seeking continues, birth and death cycle. But, there is a big but. In 6th chapter, Bhagavan gave a assurance to Arjuna. And because Arjuna asked the almost similar type of question, that I am really in the process of this spirit, I am gaining this knowledge. But suppose my prarabdha is over, body falls, then what happens? We'll have to start again from the scratch? Bhagavan said no. Because whatever knowledge you gain, all the samskaras are there of this exposure. That is in the mind. It's a subtle body. Subtle body does not get destroyed. There. What is death? The subtle body leaves the gross body. Gross body becomes dead. Because the senses live, pranas live, organs of action live. So dead body is devoid of subtle body. And all your samskaras, knowledge of Sanskritam, knowledge of Vedanta, because you are experiencing every day. Shravanam also is an experience. Experience generate the impressions in the mind. That's in the mind, it's like a software. That leaves. Therefore, Bhagavan says, I will give you another birth, because since your journey is not over, I'll give a birth, but I will give a birth in a family where you can continue this journey. Because one is born in such a family where even to utter a word, Vedanta or God is not possible. That is, so Ishvara says, well, that will leave it on me. Athava yogi nameva kule bhavati dhimatam. Either you will be born in the family of a yogi, so you continue, or else I will give you birth in a very, very, very rich family where you will not have to bother about many things and you can continue. So this is Ishvara's assurance. We will have to go by that because ultimately he is a karma phala data. The new body comes based on my karma phala. And that he is the one who gives, so we'll have to have trust. But yes, if one is seeking God or if one is seeking something else, so far as the seeking is there, well, definitely to end the seeking, he has to give a body. So birth and death cycle will be there. That's for that. Why is ashram vyavastha not same for women? How can we in modern age follow or go to vanaprastha, at what age, etc.? No, ashram vyavastha, we have not told that it is for men. It's not like that. It is for anybody. This definition of this Purusha and Stri is, we discussed in the afternoon. is not based on a particular gender. But one thing is there. While talking about the human being, we generally use he, right? That creates a problem. But that is English problem. Really? Believe me. In English, you see, not forget about Vedanta, outside also. When they start talking about human being, you will never find she. They always write the human being and then they will put a pronoun, he. It doesn't mean that way, please understand. There is not here discrimination or anything. It's just a custom of saying. So you find even in the Shastra also sometime, Purushaha. That's what we discussed with him in afternoon. Purushaha. Purusha means male. No. Purushaha means a human being. Then why you are using Purushaha? Because in this path, one needs pumstvam. Pumstvam means, you know what? Pumstvam means a discriminative capacity is higher or has a say over emotions. If emotional personality is high compared to the intellect, discriminative capacity, he or she is not fit for the knowledge. Knowledge requires discrimination. One should have a discriminative capacity. In fact, it begins with the discrimination. Nitya nitya vastu vivekaha. So, and the gaining knowledge, the knowledge takes place in intellect. So there are two things. One is buddhi, one is manaha. And so if my personality is an emotional personality, means I will be, generally if I'm getting overwhelmed by the emotions, well, I'm lacking pumstvam. And then definitely one should gain a emotional maturity. If I'm overwhelmed by emotion, it is immaturity. And you require for knowledge all along discrimination. Starts with nitya nitya vastu viveka, it ends in atma anatma viveka. Self, what is non-self. So all along, the intellect should play a role. Intellect is a seat of the knowledge and it should be predominant. Whether it is a male or female, it has no meaning here. One who possesses pumstvam is a adhikari, qualified for this knowledge, whether it is she or he. That's how word purusha is generally used. One who possesses pumstvam is a purusha. That is the reason. But it doesn't mean that only males are, it's not like that. And how can we, How can we in modern age follow to or go to Vanaprastha? Need not go to any place. If you are really asking me, I'm telling you one thing. That's an advantage here in United States. That most of the children in a family, I think 18 maximum, right? They generally go out. And they go with the moderation. So we are you are automatically Vanaprastha. When you are free from the responsibilities. In fact, you don't have a responsibility of the children to get married also, I think, if I'm sure. I think. You don't have any responsibility. He will bring one day and just say, bless, etc. Over. Really nice society. For this study. And sometimes it happens that, of course, divorce, etc. are also a lot. But suppose if both husband, wife, they are together, if one of them goes, then you are totally alone. So, nivritta viraktasya, I did not remember actually in afternoon the class, but it is I think in Manusmriti or somewhere. Nivritta viraktasya. What did I say? Ashramaha, gruham eva ashramaha, something like that. So it's true. One need not go. Swamiji, what is your experience? That's what I'm from my experience I'm telling you. I hope so you understand. And so, Vanaprastha or a sannyasa, in a current society, the definitions are different. In the Vedic society, the things were different. Vedic society was totally based on Vedic karmas. Where is Vedic karmas now? Not a single one. Who is doing Gayatri now? I am sure nobody is doing. What is Sandhya Vandanam? Maybe that itself may be a question. What is this Sandhya Vandanam? What is that? Ah. Is it a creature or what? What is that? Sandhya Vandanam. Where Vedic karmas itself is not there, we are not aware of the Vedic karma. Where is a grihastha to perform the karma? Where is grihasthashrama? And where is sannyasa to give up those Vedic karmas? It's not there. And Vanaprastha is totally not there. It's zero. So grihastha, sannyasa between that. It's a buffer. Where is Vanaprastha? Oh no, you do your business. I engage myself in the meditation of Lord. And I sit. Don't ask me. If you are too much having problems, please ask. Otherwise, don't ask. Is there anyone like that today? In fact, we are all the time ready to poke our nose in the affairs of, our children and all. This is the one thing one has to give up. If one wants to maintain a dignity as an old person should definitely command a respect, being physically mature, also emotionally mature. And most of the old people do not have a respect, as I told you, they want to bring that person into other direction. And the chap wants to see on this side. He wants to see that. It's not going to work. This is the emotional issue. This is emotional issue. Poking the nose. Unnecessary it is. It's unnecessary. It's a very, very bad habit. Very bad habit. And repeating. Repeating and repeating and repeating. Repeating Mahavakya 9 times is good. But repeating this 9 times. Every time 1947. It won't work. So then they search some nursing homes and you know what. If someone in a community or community does harm us and does himsa, not ahimsa, what should we do? We discussed yama in the morning. So it says, a lot of communities are harming our religious activity. Should we give kshama or not? No. Bhagavan taught the value of a kshama to Arjuna and at the same time told to fight the war. Clear? Yudhyasva. Several times. That fellow wants to forget. And Bhagavan reminds all the time. Up to 18th chapter. 18th chapter also. So, kshama, forgiveness and violence. It's a war of Kshatriya. Everyone was knowing the result. Not that Ishvara was knowing, being in a Kurukshetra. Everyone was knowing. Fight to death. Kshatriya's war has no other, some compromise on table. No. It's fight to death. No Kshatriya will leave. No Kshatriya will leave showing the back. So how it is possible? Kshama, Kshanti, accommodation, and at the same time violence. That reveals whatever we should do to protect our dharma, we should do. But in our heart, we should not basically have an ill feeling for anything. Knowing a truth that everything is ultimately one, manifestation of one. Everything is manifestation of one thing. That is the reality. Knowing that, well, that enmity inside, or the violence inside, at the level of mind, at the level of speech, well, one can avoid. But this, to protect dharma, etc., whatever is required legally, etc., or else to raise the voice, it should be there. It should be there. That's our duty. Just like to accommodate others also is a duty. This also is our duty. The dharma which gives you so much, an insight into the human life. It's a total synthesis of a human life. What is the goal of human life and what are the means to fulfill the goal? So clear. Veda is very clear. That is called Veda, who gives you the knowledge of means and ends. Sometimes means are known, end is not known. Veda reveals it. Sometimes end is known, means is not known. Veda gives that knowledge. Sometimes means also unknown, end also is unknown. That also they give. End you want a child, right? And you have exhausted all the means available in the world, all medicine, etc. Then somebody suggests there is a means and it works. How can you say, Swamiji? You please don't ask me, but I know. No, really. It works. There are certain mantras, etc. In many cases, results I have seen, not one. You know the ant called rain. You have exhausted all the means, they spray that silver nitrate and all this in the clouds and then they fall and something. All means are exhausted. You go to Veda, which will tell you to do Kariri, Parjanyaga, etc. is there. We did it in our Coimbatore ashram. We did it in Ahmedabad. In a drought season, we got rain. Not before, not after. 3 years there was a drought in Gujarat. Somewhere in middle, we did this. Now you can definitely say it's an accident. That is there. But I would say, to tell it as an accident, you should be an all-knowledgeable person. Right? All knowledge you should have. That whatever the thing was, which was done, ritual, etc., has not produced anything. You should see that. You are not able to see. I don't care is a better answer than this thing doesn't work. That, compared to that is a better answer. You cannot say. In this world, there are several phenomena which are occurring at a very subtle level. Then these also, why not it occurs? Why not it occurs? It has a possibility. But in order to establish yourself to be a rational person, the easy thing is to discard all these things, which you cannot prove. And that is not available for proof. The entire subject matter of the Veda is never available for proof. Throughout the human life, whatever sophisticated instruments you have, that's how Veda is called Apaurusheya. It is not available for a Purusha Buddhi or the means of knowledge available to the human being. Punyam, Papam, Lokas, Devatas, Atma, nothing is available. For senses to perceive, to infer. And therefore, you can say, I don't care. even if it is there. That's the best. That's a good answer. But such a thing is not there. Devatas are not there. Punya Papa is not there. It's all imagination of Brahmins and this and that. It is too much to say. I would say it is an irrational approach rather than a rational approach. Because you should go and find out that such a thing is not there. You are sitting in your room in one corner and speaking with a limited knowledge, with a very extremely limited knowledge. These are the phenomena at a very bigger level. And therefore, it is not correct to say. But anyway. So, I think I have addressed all the three questions. How do you forgive someone when their actions affect your life and your children's life in a negative manner? Their actions were out of your control. Could be a legal battle. Not out of control. If somebody's human being, certain action is there and which is illegal, unlawful, and hurting you, then I think there are laws to protect you. And I would not say it's totally out of control. We can definitely take help of some lawyer. I don't know what type of action, because it says here their actions were out of your control. External forces out of your control. Anyway, perhaps this person can meet me personally and pursuit of worldly things ends up in disappointment. From earlier session, I told, is not that the same pursuit helps advance human lives? Very good. All the good things we are around in our lives are the result of someone's worldly pursuit. Correct? How do we understand what kind of a worldly pursuit is good or bad? Worldly pursuits are good and worldly pursuits are bad. This is how Vedanta is. Yeah. We are always like that. Worldly pursuits are good, so far as external comfort is required. Comfort is an external thing. Happiness is an internal thing. Comfort is equal to happiness is a confusion. Great confusion. More comforts, more happiness. No. My rule is more comforts, less happiness. Inversely proportional. In our science we used to do, right? Comfort is inversely proportional to the happiness. This is our law. All these Murphy's law, Newton's law, these are our law. Inversely proportional. Look around, you will find. Person who is having a lot of comforts, he needs all types of tablets and everything. I just don't understand. With all prosperity, he can enjoy everything, right? In eating also. He takes this khakra and then this mumra, something. Why? What is the problem? More prosperity outside than his eating is such. You feel this type of food even a poor should not eat. This is what veg clear soup. What names and veg clear. Least happiness. Perhaps taking tablets in the night for sleep. The person who is living outside your bungalow, a small hut, at 8 o'clock he just goes to sleep with all mosquitoes around. Least comfort. and you get a sleep that shows an internal relaxation. I'm not trying to compare that we should have this kind of thing, but I'm saying, so far as the material pursuits bring comforts, it is good. Material pursuits, one is seeking for happiness, it is bad, because you are going to be disappointed. That's what my thing is. Disappointment is not for any other purpose. Disappointment is, if you seek these three things from material pursuits, then you will be definitely disappointed. More material prosperity, more peace. United States is an example. How much peace we have here is an example. Why I'm telling you in front of you, may feel bad. But I know the issues here now. I know several psychological and what not. Even I have never heard of so many issues are here. So many issues. My God, what a tragedy. So if you seek a peace from material pursuits, you are disappointed. Because a thing which does not have a particular thing, it cannot give you. Your expectation is wrong. That poor thing is not at fault. Is not at fault. Which is not its nature, it will not give you. Inert things are inert things. So-called objects of security, happiness, etc. Happiness is not in any object. Let us make a beeline. If a object of happiness is there, even to get even a piece of it, I am also ready. I will be standing in line. I am ready. Which object, which situation, which place is called happiness? Show me. Swamiji, beach. You have not seen our beach. Somebody even doesn't want a beach in a dream, you know. Yeah, there are people who have lost someone on the beach, or he just doesn't want to, even in dream also he doesn't want. Where is the question of happiness? Somebody mountain top. Somebody is very eager to reach the mountain top because he will be very happy to see the whole view. But at the same time, someone is coming down also very rapidly. He is not even ready to talk to you. You were wanted to ask that person that what a nice view it is, and etc. and where should I stand and this. He says, I just don't want to talk to you. Someone in search of happiness goes to the mountain top, someone comes down, someone goes from east to west, someone comes from west to east in search of happiness every morning, taking a car. In which direction there is a happiness? Disappointment. It is not there. Happiness is not a nature of any object, any situation, any place. Yeah, so far comforts are concerned, there is nothing like this. We are able to talk sitting on a chair, with this microphone, this is itself is a very big invention. So, it is good also, it is bad also. And your question is so much in Sanskritam. And he has asked some technical questions, which I would like to avoid, because you may be tired of me. From morning onwards, it's all going on. I'm tired, Swamiji, believe it. But before that, since I promised yesterday, I would like to share few things in 10 minutes. And that is the answer of a question. How to develop virtues. People are very much interested. They want virtues to get developed. or how to gradually grow out of unhealthy tendencies, if that is a question. In our Shastra, at a few places, the methods have been shown which have been collected, and I am going to share within 10 minutes. And the reason being to develop the virtues is, well, it is directly related to the peace of the mind. When vices are there in the mind, definitely there is no peace. Virtues are there, there is a peace. That's what yesterday we were talking in the evening. And therefore it is welcome thing. There are 5 means shown by the Shastra to develop the virtues. First is a prayer. And prayer works in 2 ways. First is prayer being addressed to the Ishvara. Definitely, due to your prayer, which is a karma, the Ishvara's grace is a karma phala, will come, and what you are seeking in your life, well, virtues, etc., you will be able to gain. Because prayer is efficacious, definitely. So this is it. And that is how in our Shastra there are all our Shanti mantras also, in fact, all asking for virtues. Shanti mantras are prayers, and they are asking for virtues. Bhadram karane vishrunuyama devaha bhadram pashyemakshabhiryajatraha stirairangaihi stushtvagum sastanubihi vyashema devahitam yadayuhu swasti na indro vruddhashavaha swasti na pusha vishwavedaha swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi swasti no brihaspatir dadatu om shanti shanti shanti. Bhadram pashyema, Bhadram Karnebihi Shrunuyama. Through our eyes, let us see all, O Ishvara. So you grace us in such a way that we will see everywhere auspiciousness. We will hear all the time auspicious words. All this is prayer for virtues. Of course, there is a prayer for a good health. A sound health is necessary even in a spiritual path. Otherwise, one cannot definitely do anything. All the time back, my back is paining, this is paining, head is paining. What I am going to do? And then that to Swami's class, headache will be much more than. So I just all this Satchit and what he was talking in the evening. I don't know what he was talking. Satchit. I myself was very hesitant to talk. But what can I do since Bhashyakara Shankaracharya told? Anyway, so first thing is a prayer. And then the second, one way the prayer works is this, because it's invoking some Bhagavan's grace. Second thing is, through prayer, you want to associate with Ishvara. And Ishvara being, he is an embodiment of all virtues. By law of association, definitely one gains a virtue. Because definitely when you pray, you are thinking of him. And when you are thinking of it, definitely you are thinking of him as an embodiment of virtues. And so your mind also assumes his form with the virtues. Or you are just thinking of his virtues while praying. And so your mind automatically, by law of association, gains virtues. This is the way prayer works. It works in both the ways. Works as because invoking his grace, and second by law of association. Second, Satsanga, which of course we talked a lot, association with any virtuous person. And especially association with a Vedantin, real Vedantin. We have to add that. In as much as, because I have a value for material things. And I feel that more the material prosperity, there is a happiness. And here is a person with the least amenities. And you see him happy all the time. So, that definitely makes you think that happiness is not outside, etc., or in material prosperity. And, definitely. So virtuous person, in any way, due to just because of his virtues, definitely he is remaining a happy person, and therefore you also will get a value in order to develop the virtues. So this is a second method, satsanga. Third is a sankalpa. Sankalpa means an auto-suggestion. It works very well. Many things you can develop by sankalpa, auto-suggestion. And in that, you pick up a positive value. It's virtue, let us say, positive value. Any virtue you pick up, which you are lacking, you know what are the values or virtues you are lacking. So today morning you pick up that particular virtue. And you will definitely suggest yourself that this virtue I will try to cultivate today in my transaction. I'll give you an example. People have a habit of speaking about weak points about others. And they never speak a good thing about others. Even in a home, sometimes it happens. She makes some good dish, right? And she knows that this kind of a dish you like. She makes it. And the person sits and eats. She's sitting in the other corner, waiting that the person would appreciate husband. But he won't say anything. And then when she asks that how was the dish, etc. Yeah, it is good. And then change the top. This really? It's not a good thing. When you want to talk about someone's weakness, we have to stop him. He keeps on going. And when to talk about some good value about someone, no. So you decide today that this is the thing I am deficient of. I can't talk a good thing about anybody. While in today's transaction, in my friend circle, this, that, etc., whenever I find a good thing, genuine, fact, I will definitely appreciate it by talking. This is called sankalpa, auto-suggestion. Like that, on a daily basis, pick up one virtue. And with this sankalpa or auto-suggestion, you try to inculcate in you. So this also is a method of developing the virtues. Fourth, that way I like this thank you business. Yeah, I really like here. Even if Swami gives a fruit, right, immediately. But I tell thank you, something, tell thank you. So that's good. Even though it's just Swami, but it is just a lip service. So what? At least this much is good. I consider it as a non-verbal communication, even though it's a words, but it's a non-verbal communication. Like our gestures, body gestures, etc., also in communication. Like if I'm talking right now, from my gestures, if you are not comfortable, the communication will not take place. So, like body gestures, eye expression, facial expression, like this also, thank you, etc. Sorry. Yeah, it's good. Anyway, so this is third point. Fourth is a pratipaksha bhavana. Taking an opposite view in the mind. This is generally this sankalpa is to develop a virtue. This pratipaksha bhavana is to give up unhealthy tendency. It's one and the same, to give up unhealthy tendency. So I deliberately neutralize an unhealthy tendency which has occurred in my mind by taking the opposite stand. I'll tell you this also. So, some people have a habit of speaking negative. Any topic you bring, they will speak negative. You say television, they start. Politicians, start. Newspaper, internet, everything. They always speak negative. I think it is a negative tendency, cynical tendency in the mind. There are positive things about a politicians, positive things about a country, positive things about the people, positive things about the television, positive things about the internet, but no. Well, this is a very, very negative tendency. And so this person, that particular person, has to take the opposite view. Before he speaks about television, negative things, well, he takes the opposite view in his mind. That there are advantages of television, there are advantages of internet, there are advantages of this, that, etc. It's a deliberately he has to take an opposite point of view before he utters. Then slowly he will become free from the negative tendencies. And the fifth, which is toughest one, is educating the mind. We educate our mind for physical health. We never educate our mind for mental health, emotional health. Physical health we educate. Like if I have a blood pressure, I'm just saying, I have blood pressure. I will try to find out what is the cause. I will educate to my mind. These are the things which causes blood pressure. What is the nature of, characteristic of blood pressure? What the symptoms, etc. And what is cure? I always remain aware of, because I want to retain my physical health. So these three things I all the time tell to my mind. And I keep updating also, seeing in social media, browsing, etc. I see what other doctors are saying. But about mental health, emotional health, I never look into. Like anger. I remain angry generally, suppose. Then, well, I will, this is also ill health of the mind, like a physical health. So you should try to find a cause of the anger. There are causes. Cause of anger. Nature of anger. What are characteristics of anger? What happens when I get angry, etc. And what is the remedy? So like that, when you educate yourself with the help of, trying to find the cause, nature, and this result of that, definitely, well, slowly you are providing a data to your mind for emotional health. That is called viveka. Well, that results into developing virtues ultimately, and by getting free, making my mind free from the negative emotions, etc. So these are the 5 methods: prayer, satsanga, and then sankalpa, pratipaksha bhavana, and viveka. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.